So, after 30 plus years of speculating, Tevin Campbell finally has come out the closet. Hello, everyone. Good evening. This is your girl, Miss Analytical. I'm coming straight out of NYC on this quiet Thursday evening. I just found out about this news an hour ago, and I am just, kind of like, but I'll read it, because I'm going to give my opinion. People magazine, it reads, R&B star Tevin Campbell opens up about his life and sexuality. I've embraced me. In a candid sit-down interview with the People Everyday podcast, the Can We Talk singer talks career and, for the first time, his journey as a gay man. The man who famously posed the question, "Can we talk for a minute?" is now opening up like never before. Beloved R&B singer Tevin Campbell, known for sultry 90s hits like Can We Talk and I'm Ready, recently appeared on the People Everyday podcast for an in-depth interview, discussing his life and career and revealing for the first time what his personal experience has been as a gay man in the music industry. I refer to myself as a former child star because that's just what I am, says Campbell, 45, of his musical past. Discovered by famed talent manager Benny Medina at age 12, the Waxahachie, Texas native was thrust into the music scene a year later by mentor Quincy Jones and instantly dubbed the next Michael Jackson for his smooth, savant-like vocals and impressive range. The comparison was a big compliment that came with a lot of pressure, says Campbell. I just kind of wanted to be me, Instead, he was packaged as a young, heterosexual heartthrob. Signed to Warner Brothers Music, he released his debut album, Tevin, in 1991 and followed it up with I'm Ready in 1993, both to huge success. Campbell admits, I don't think the sex symbol thing worked, but the love songs last. For instance, Can We Talk, a song that was almost given to Usher, his contemporary at the time, earned Campbell a Grammy nomination and has seen a resurgence in recent years thanks to a popular TikTok singing challenge. I had no idea at the time, like when I was 15 or 16 recording this song, that it would have that impact, says Campbell. I was just a kid singing in the studio. Coming of age in the heteronormative space of R&B at that time, I didn't hide anything about me. I didn't try to act a certain way or anything, says Campbell. But also he knows of that era in the industry, you just couldn't be gay back then. Partly due to changes on at the record label, Campbell and his music got put on the back burner after the third album, released in 1996, didn't perform well. Around the same time, his personal journey began. When I came out to my family and friends at about 19 or 20, that was it for me. And then I went on the road of discovering myself. I didn't know who I was, says Campbell, who stepped away from the music industry and credits much of his growth to the 6 years he spent performing in the Broadway musical Hairspray beginning in 2004. Being around people who were like me, LGBTQ+, people that were living normal lives and had partners. I had never seen that, he says. That was a great time in my life. Despite years of speculation, Campbell has largely kept his private life private. Earlier this year, he responded to a Twitter user's question about famous singers who are rumored to be gay. He simply tweeted, Tevin is, adding a rainbow emoji. It was a casual thing for me, Campbell says, or what many took as a coming out statement. In truth, he adds, I love my fans, but what they think about my sexuality is of no importance to me. Asked his thoughts on the recent success of young queer black stars like Frank Ocean and Lil Nas X, who've opened up to fans, it wasn't like that in the 90s, he says, with laugh. I'm glad I get to see it. I'm glad that's changing. There are a lot of kids, especially young black boys, that need to see representation. He adds, they're not being taught to love themselves because of who they are. For Campbell, who has new music in the works, recently performed at the National Museum of African American Music in Nashville, and took home this year's R&B Icon Award at the Black Music Honors. Loving himself is the greatest accomplishment. What makes me happiest right now is how far I've come in my life, he says. There are a lot of child stars that don't make it, but a lot of us do. And the fact that I've embraced me. And I'm going to say this. Tevin, the streets been talking about you forever. They was talking about you when you approached that cop in 1994 and you solicited sex. They was talking when you was with Rashawn Patterson, because y'all have them kids together. They was talking about you back in a couple of years ago with Jaguar Wright, which she should not have done that. But they've been talking about you. They was talking about you when you gave that sister-to-sister interview where you said, I'm trisexual. I'll try anything. They've been talking about you. People been knowing that you was gay. But the thing was, were you gay when you entered the industry, or did somebody make you gay? And that's what people were saying. And here's my take. I believe that Tevin was always looking at him in performance going back to 1990. I believe Tevin was always that way. I believe he was a person who was like what they used to call sweet. Excuse me. He was a person that they call sweet. But, excuse me about that. Yeah, so they basically, people, even the elders was like, he's a talented young vocalist, but, he's sweet. You could tell he's sweet. But nobody said, the F word. And nobody even said gay. They said, he's a little sweet. And the old people say, well, hopefully he grows out of that. But as long as he stays a good boy, that's all that matters. So we kind of knew that. So I don't think that the whole thing of, somebody made him that way, I think that was inside of him. But the thing is that Tevin is he grew up in a single parent household, and he's the only child. And that could have an influence on it, because I don't think Tevin plays sports. And the mannerisms, a lot of times, if you grew up in a single parent home and your mother doesn't, have you playing sports, I know they're going to get me for this. Well, they may not get me for this, but a lot of people are going to disagree. A lot of times, when you a boy and you stay up under your mother and you don't have a male figure in a household, you will act masculine, more feminine. But it doesn't mean that you are gay. It just means that you'll more than likely carry feminine traits, because, men and males have the X and Y chromosome. Here's the thing with this. I just think that he was just attracted to males. But people did say that certain people mess with him in the industry. Now, that could have happened. People could have, saw that, he has the tendencies. Well, let's take advantage of that. Because it does happen in that world. You read the stories, you hear about it. That could have happened. But the names of the people that they said did it, I'm not going to go down that route. I'm not going to accuse anybody of that, because that, I ain't doing that. That I'm not doing. And I'm not a person, I would never do that. But Tevin has always said that, he was, he always repped the rainbow flag. He just never said the G word. But Jaguar Wright, 2 years ago, she was basically saying, look what they did to Tevin Campbell. He was, doing stuff for Strange Change out on the boulevard in Hollywood. And he had threatened to sue her. And she immediately took his name out of her mouth. So, that was one for the books. Well, I'm happy for Tevin. And now that he's come out the closet officially, can we get some new music from you? Like, on the real, can we really get some new music? That's just my thing. I want new music, because before Usher, you was the one that everybody thought that you was going to be big as Usher. But see, when you solicited that cop, that's what did it. It wasn't the gay thing, because you could have been our generation's George Michael. You know, if you would have played that careful, you could have been the Black George Michael. And with that being said, it's your girl, Miss Analytical. I am signing off. Thank you for listening. Subscribe if you haven't. Share, like, comment, and hit the notification bell to receive feature notices for uploads. Take care. Good night.